Hakavanot that came before that. Let me see where it would be. Okay, so this would be number Tes Zion in the Shefa Gavonos. I just think we left this out, so I just wanted to go through it. He quotes a pasuk up above on number. Well, I guess we could go to number Kaf Ches up above, reading Kaf Ches up above on the previous page. So he said, "V'zechon Nirmaz." We'll be talking about this Indian of Shvich Zerel Batala also has to do with women. So, which is a more obscure. The answer that he gives for it is more obscure to me. What does that phrase mean? Lo you're a male. Hara shehi plonis ashes nunim. What does that mean? He says venega and lo yikra. Now that was the whole pasuk there. He says Ratzalomer wants to say like this, and negeshuhu samakel. So now he's dividing it up. Is male. Lo rikrag ba'ohalacho lashon of ohel is lashon nuk. Shehi ishtecho. That's your wife. Kamosha kasav shuvu lachem lelohechem.
No, aleichem.
Huh? Okay. That's what I meant. Lo halechem. They're to their tent, which is lashon nuk. That's what I want to say. Thank you. So let's look down below at number Tes Zion, and that's all I wanted to do here, specifically over here. So it says Lo Yikro Bo Halecha Shihi Ishtecho. So he says, what does that mean? Kosa V'Shem and Sason. He says like this: Mekamen Nira Godel Koach Amiris Kriya Shemash Al Hamitach Karoi. If you say it properly. Sha'al Yadach Below Raksha Shomer Ches Ansmacha Min Mezikim. Not only that. El Shomer Af as Ishto, but it also has the same fact on the woman, on the person's mate. Mazikim for the Mazikim, Amdach El Os Yodal, Hizach Bar the Yesh Umrim Sha'af Al Isha Tzrich Lomer Ba'atzmal Kriya Shmal Olamita. So he wants to say that they say this is also an obligation. So number Yud Zion says, he says, Pogim ad Abba Ve'ima. That's a part that I we'll look at. He says Lashon Kan Lo Meduyak, so it's not really exactly right. He says Das Elyon de Zer Anpin. What is the Das Elyon of Zer Anpin? Das Elyon de Zer Anpin is that which is machriya between Abba and Ima. Hamnimshach below Das the Abba, and how does it get into the Das Elyon? It comes from the Das the Abba, and also the Das of Ima. All right, let's go backwards one page. I just want to get that in. That's all. I'm not sure exactly what the conclusion of that was, and exactly the whole inyan by the imam by the woman. But I guess he did say. So Hamisas Agufos Hamazikin. This was now we're on page Shin Gimel. Naasa Bekor Shemus Rayo. So as you recall that we learned over in the Sifra Tzniuta that the rucha, and let's go what rucha means, that shadi begavo, that the male force, which is here we're talking about chokhmah, into ima, he says, is that ruach is actually 3 avs, which gives you the gematria rayo. So that's the rucha that's left behind, and now we pick it up over here on number Kaf Tes, and let's take a look at the TIV Kavanos. So it says, Indian Kavanas Mises the Gufus on the Skaros. So this is what we are trying to do, to kill these. Huba Kavanas Shemus Olim Begematria Comedian V'cherev Pipios Beyond V'cherev. And then the rest of the phrase goes with Pipios. It has 2 sides, a double-edged sword, beyond them in their hands. Kamoshi is Boyer. Now he's going to go through, I guess, some of the parts of the Kriya Shemal Olamita. Malski Levoyer as Seder HaKavana Sheyesh the Kaveh B'Kedei Lahamit, Lahamis, as Gufus HaMazikim. So you have to destroy the bodies. V'hush Yekaven Shlosha Shemel Zav, and that's that same Rucha, the Shadi Begavo. He says there's 3 different times of Av. She'only begematria Ryo, Cominion, Tavis, V'cherev. V'cherev actually has the same gematria. The cherev, what we're killing the gufos of the mazikin, is with the sword. The sword is the number 216. Vayadecha bechinas cherev zu horgim as gufos amazikim. So this is in fact how we do that. V'zecha v'sod masha amba begemara. So this is Gemara. It says Amba Rebbe Yitzchak kol kora kriya shemal al mitaso. So anyone who does this, Ki'ilu oches cherev shall shtei pius biyadochem Pirush Rashi laharog as a mazikim, and that's the reason why what we're trying, to accomplish. Number 11, v'zezecha v'nyanu. This is the pashtus. In the Ashar Hashem is boyer ki avol zecha pogem. So now he explained this. The pagam goes all the way into the parsha of Abba ve'ima. So he says a gavarn is boyer shacha pagam shel chet hotzos shvichus zer v'tolo pogem b'das elyon dezer anpen hanimshuk lo b'das the Abba ve'ima. Okay, so he has something on this as we go forward. Let's go a little bit more. Im came srichin ali l'horid sheva mazlach kadisha ilor the erik anpin. So what we need to do is take the shefa that comes into the mazla, the upper mazl with number 8, hanikra das elyon, which is called by the name of das elyon hachofef, which surrounds al abba ve'ima. So let's understand hachofef. Hofef is I'm seeing how it's surrounding them, but that's what he says. He said it's machri between them. Abba ve'ima, Kanada the mazla is kalilin because it becomes part of the mazel. Now, what becomes part of the mazel? Shefa mazla kadisha. So he says v'kevin shehapagam nogea b'makam gavola koko. Shehu das elyon dezer anpen hanimshach lo ma'aba ve'ima. So now he says it's nimshach. Al kain sarak tikun avonzeh. So therefore, it needs a tikkun for this sin. Zeh tzarak lahamshach l'sham ha'ara gadola kol kach. You have to bring in just such a tremendous amount of light. Ad shelo yuchlu ha'kale hanechazim sham, which are normally holding on to that place. Lisbol ha'ara hahu v'yamusa, to be able to actually to bear this, to handle this light, and as a result of that, it kills them. V'ha'ara chazecha nimshacha ma'hatikun hashmini shall yud gimel tikuni diktin darich. So where does this ha'ara come from? Now he's trying to describe, I think, the rayo. That's how he does this. The misham nimshach the tikun the yud gimel the diktin the erek. So this there is used to be able to be mashlim the yud gimel tikunim of the diktin of erek anpen and nikra das elyon. B'shnei tikunim elu hashmini v'chayud gimel nikroim mazlos, as we know. V'heim chofafim al abba ve'ima k'l'halon. And where are these mazlos? And the mazlos, so we're talking about the beard now, right? So the beard comes over in relationship to Eric Anpen. We're talking about the beard of Eric Anpen. It comes over and it surrounds or covers over. It's a beard. So on the outside, it covers over the positions of Abba Ve'ima going down towards, let's say, the Tibor. Let's see what he says. And he's going to get into it more. And from this, therefore, comes the ha'ara going down into Abba. And of course, Ma'aba goes into Ima. From that position, that is mashpia to the das of Zeranpin. So let me see. Let me go a little bit more. Where do they go? I just had a little adjustment here. I lost the place. Nimshach l'das zeranpen. Here we go. Number lamed bes. Umarov ha'or ha'gol lahu ha'nishbach misham. So now there's a tremendous amount of light coming out of this place. And yucholos ala klipos his gavra v'lukabel ha'arahu klal ve'ikr. They can't handle it. V'az chem mesim. Hakale aneachazim b'das elyon. So this is what he's telling us, is that somehow this Ryo, which is actually 372s, which is an aspect of, well, the 72 goes with Abba. So from these 372s, Hakale, that causes the Kale to loosen their grip and be destroyed, their bodies destroyed. The Das Elyon, Ein b'yacholtam lisvol godel ha'ara, they can't handle that great light, ha'godel ha'yishech b'mazlich loch ha'nishpa l'sham, that is pouring out ha'nishpas l'sham. Umesim gufos ha'mazikim v'ha'neshamos shavuyim b'chem yotzin l'cheros, and that is what happens. Now what we're going to try to learn as we go forward is, what are the powers here that we're talking about? A little bit more. We know that there are 372s. It's the number Ryo. Now I've already told you. He says number on Lamed Gimel. Amazal lelocha the dikne the Lord the Erigan ben hu nikra das hachofes al abba ve'ima. He says here that the mazel itself is called das, which surrounds abba ve'ima, that aspect of the beard. Hatikun Ashmini the Dikuni Dikna the Erikan ben Bechinas Mazloi Law Nikra Das. So he says that as a fact we probably should put in our vocabulary here. He says that this is also called Das. He said once again, he says that's the 8th Tikkun of the beard of Erikanpen. Nikra Das Vuhu Chofef al Abba Ve'ima. It wounds up surrounding Abba Ve'ima. Shechein amazle law came bebechinis aros hazakan hamishtalshlos al tibur de libe de arich. Now he says it was talked about previously, and when he says that tibur de libe, I know there's been discussions about that. Where is this place? I thought that it was. My conclusion was I thought that it was between the tibur and the actually the lave, someplace in between there. I'm not sure. That would be like practically the halfway mark of the actual halfway mark of the Ferris. So he said, "Hey, but bechinas saras hazakan hamishtalshlosh ad dibur of the liba derich v'him mishtalshlim me'al gabe partzufi abba ve'im." And what happens is that they flow downwards and they develop downwards until they reach the partsufim of Ava ve'ima hamalvishim as Eric of that cover over Arich migrono ad tibur. So this is the area of the 8th tikkun. V'huba b'chidish shlosha chavayas, and what is it? It's actually the aspect of shlosha chavayas, the yudin. They're called Echad Begematria, Av Shlosha Begematria. So the Vishloshnim, if you to put them all together, what do you get? You get Ryo. Vashemas Hamazle law came Shlosha Shemas Avayas, and now he goes back. So the Mazle law, he says, also known as Das. So I think that was something that not necessarily would have thought that the Mazla is actually that. Maybe I should have known that. So anyway, Hashemas Hamazle law came Shlosha Shemas Avayas. Ha'olim misbar Mazla. So it turns out that the gematria of Mazla is 3 times 26, 3 times the name Havavaya. Now exactly why we're using this, how he's using it, I'm not sure, but at any rate they make the number 78. V'hei b'milui Yudin, and each one of them would be with a milui of Yudin, which is 3 times 72. So he said Erech Anpin, because Erech Anpin mushrosh b'chochma is really says its source in chochma. So therefore it's going to be Havaya Da'am. Let me just read this again. He said V'heim b'milu Yudin. He says, let me go back again, all the way back. Hashem is the Mazla lo b'chem shlosh Hashem Havaya ha'olim misbar Mazla. So they're Havayas, but the Havaya is not Pasha. But the Vaya appears as a milui. And the reason why it appears as a milui is to tell you that inside of it, or let's say the manifestation, is coming from Abba. The fish Eric Anpen, Mushrosh B'Chochma, is really rooted in Chochma. Now, I'm not sure what that phrase means. I thought I thought I would have thought that Chochma is an aspect of Eric Anpen, but here he says that it makes it sound like that Chochma becomes before Eric Anpen. Visha Eragan ben Mushrash B'chochma, v'lechein b'chinazu hu havaya the Av. So therefore, Chochma is 72. V'shlosha shemos havaya the Av. So these three names, which represent the havaya the Av, olim yachtad begematria rayo. Back to that again. Now he says the number lamed hey. He says v'zecha v'sod Av rayo. Now this Av rayo is actually 472s. But he says this in a different way. He said, so these two names in combination, one is Av, and the other one is a manifestation in Raya. We saw this already in the concept of Ya'avor, when we say Ya'avor. I'm not sure what this means, so we'll find out. Ba'ayin Sham, She'osius Av Rayo, that the letters Av Rayo, Hem V'Yavor, they come to the Gematria. 4 times 72 is the concept of Yavor. V'hem Siruf Ivor. And this is a combination of the concept of Ivor. Let's just look at it for a second, this word Ivor. And it's 80, 2, 88, and 200 is 288. Now, we know what 288 is, so let me just read it again. He says, Answer B'inyan V'Avor V'ayin Sham She'osios Av Rayo Chen V'Avor. They're found there. Siruf Ivor. Ki hu Ivor Shel Hamshachos Tipas Hanasham Misham, because this is the gestation. That's the right word, or Ivor also means passing through. He's ki hu Ivor Shel Hamshachos Tipas Hanashama Misham. This is to tell you that the Hamshacha of the Tipa, which he's going to describe a little bit, ki klalos kulam biyachad, because it incorporates them all together. Hem b'bechis mitzias avaya de yunim ha'ola av, but b'prat hein shlosha chavayas al yonas, which is rayo. V'im tachaber av and rayo, Yihir Bigamatria Rapach. Okay, that's what we just added up. And I'm screwing up this screen. I apologize. Bekavanas v'Avaram Nizbor. So we explain the Kavanah of Yavor, and we explain it like this: Tevis v'Yavor, the word itself, morkevis bebechinas av and rayo. Now he wants, even though that Rayo is composed of 3 Avs, he's separating Av and Rayo into 2 different, instead of saying 4 Avs, he says Av is an element by itself. And then it manifests itself like in a Rayo. I'm not sure what that means. But Rayo kolum mishlosha, but the Rayo has 4 bechinas Av in it. Ha'olam Rayo. Am I reading the right place? Yeah, so he says, oh my God, Rayo, V'kiber Av Rayo. So if you put these 2 together, Av and Rayo, Ola Misbar Rapach. What is it? So Rapach means that you're delving into Nitzutzos. Haromas, the Birur Rapach Nitzutzos, and this is to tell you that you're dealing with the Birur process here also of the 288 Nitzutzos. Hanisaknim ayedecha ve'iber ein sham biyosa richus ubir. Look over there, and you're going to see more about this. This was apparently this is another place in the Shaar Hakavanot. Okay, let's go backwards a little bit and pick up. Let me see if there's one more thing here. Lamed Vav. Okay, so we'll stop there and go over here to the Shefa. Okay, so first we go back to page Shin Gimel, and just a little note here down at the bottom, number Yud Gimel. He says that this Pagam, he says, Behogim ad Abba Ve'ima. This is talking about Shvicha Zera L'Batolo. How did Abba Ve'ima get involved in this? So he says, Lashon kan lo meduyak, it's not exactly right. Vakakuvana ad das elyon dezer anpen. Maybe I said this already, I'm not sure. Hanimshach lochem bedas the Abba Ve'ima, etc. Let's go to number Yud Ches. Number Yud Ches says, Im Kain, if this is the case, Srichen ano lahorid shefa mazla kadisha law de erikanpen. What we really need to do is to start pouring down, bringing down the shefa mazla kadisha law de erikanpen. Hanikra das elyon, which this upper mazel is called the das elyon. Hachofef al Abba ve'ima. So the idea is that when you get to the 8th tikkun, apparently it pulls what's up above it. And that's acts as a das. It's a das. It pulls what's up above it, Abba ve'ima. Connected, the b'mazel is kalilin because it becomes a part of the mazel. What does that mean? A marova or hagodlaku, and because of the tremendous amount of light that came out here, hanishma misham, which is pouring out from this place, and yicholos of the klipos his gaver b'lekabel ha'arach klal, so they can't handle the light. Now his words are, there's no ability in the kala that his gaver to strengthen themselves, because that's what happens when some of the light leaks out, as we know from Shvicha Zero Levatalo. That's what happens. They can't fortify themselves. They can't handle the light at all. And it kills them. So this is what we want to do, is that we want to bring out the power of these 372s, but I'm still trying to understand what the 72 by itself means. So his said Hakavanot bezerah mavur l'chalon and DRUSHOT. Where is that? V'ha'olach b'sham k'fi shenister and sader b'sidr. Hushakodim tevis echad. Going back to the Shema, the pasuk rishon, the kriya Shema nimshach haraya ha'elyon shehem shlosha shemes avaya da'av. So wait a minute. Exactly, it says v'ha'ala misham is that kodim you say the word echad. So you said Shema Yisrael Hashem Eloheinu Hashem. Let's say you got to that place. Before this, he says, so Echad, Risha the Krishma, Nimshach HaRaya HaElyon, this causes the Raya HaElyon to be moving. So it's moving downward, Shehem Shlosha Shemus Avaya Da'av Im Chamesha Gavuros, together with its 5 Gavuros. Now, what we got here, the 5 Gavuros, it's going to add it up. I think that's what's going to happen here. Megavura de das the Atik, from the Gavura of the das of Atik, the Gavura de Atik shebechachma derich. Now let me go back up, just try to piece this together a little bit. It's coming im chamisha gavuros. Okay, so he added that in, and there's a reason for that, and we'll see if we can figure it out. Im chamisha gavuros megavura de das the Atik. So let's look into Atik. Atik has a das. The das is already, I don't know, part of the racial isida, I don't know, but he's telling me gavura de das the Atik, the gavura de Atik shebachachma derich, and it goes into the gavura of Atik, which is now being manifest in the upper part of a rich, which is in his chachma. Now, I need to understand the chachma's gavuras, and along with the gavuras, they all wind up in the gavura of chachma derich. So chachma, of course, has 10 spheros, and there's a gavura over there. Inside of that gavura, you're going to find the gavura da'atik. The misham nemshach and the mazel the shmini. From that place, it goes into the 8th mazel, which collects the shefa. The misham l'das elyon mazel yud gimel, and from there it continues on down to the bottom of the beard, which is the mazel yud gimel. What happens then is mizdaving base of mazels av and kasa. Now he didn't introduce kasa to say that this is number 13. Actually, that's the 13th one, and Av is going to be the 8th. So you have a yichud between Av and Kasa. That's 72 and 161, and Mamshich and Ha'arach and Niskarat L'kach Ba'da Abba. And so all of this winds up going down into the top part, the Kach V'Keser Chach being the Das of Abba. La'achar mekan b'tevis echad, and that's what happens when you say the word echad. Although, no, not that's, excuse me, said la'achar mekan. Now, after you've done that, and really, let's see, we have a little bit of time. We'll finish this. I just want to look at this sequencing again. He says, Shekodim tevis echad, the pasuk rishon, the kriya shema, nimshach haraya ha'elyon, which is shlosha shem b'savaya da'av. He wants to add in that you're going to have 3 times 72 plus 5. Megavura de das the atik, it's going to come from the gevura of das the atik, right? Because we under the das of atik is going to be, shall we say, chasadim and gevuros. This is going to bring the gevuros down, the gevura the atik shebachachma the rich. It's going to go into the chachma of a rich. The misham nemshach and the mazel the shmini, the misham the das elyon, which is mazel yud gimel. Okay, so now he's talking the Mazel Elyon to be the Yud Gimel. I guess I'm not sure exactly whether he's talking about it together with the other or what. Mizdavgim Beis Mazlos Aven Kasa. So this is what happens deep inside there. And it goes into the very top part of Abba. Now you say the word Echad. Then what happens? This causes the original yichud that takes place between Abba ve'ima, and this comes into this rucha de shadi bagava. That is the rucha. Now, normally, ruach goes with the concept to me, nefesh, ruach, neshama, like that. I'm not sure what the word rucha means here, except that he gives us a definition, and it's three avs. The Rishona, the Abba ve'ima, the nozen Abba miyasoda, the yisod, from his yisod into her yisod, esavaya elyon, this upper havaya. La'achar mekam betebes va'ed, then it said Baruch Shem kavod malchus alon v'ed, the pause of Baruch Shem. Na'asa zivug bia Rishona de zun, this causes the original yichud to take place in zun. V'bo nimshach miyasod za, and from there flows down from the Yesod of Zer Anpin to the Yesod of the Nuk, Harayo Hatachdon, the lower Havaya, lower Rayo. V'hu Ribua, and what is it? It's a Rivua, the Hava B'Shavai B'Shuta, V'Ribua, the Havaya, the Ben. You add those two up together. And then what happens is that Ha'ara comes out of this Rayo, Ha'elyon, should be Yesod De'ima, that's in the Yesod De'ima, Ha'raya Ha'tachton should be Yesod De'nuk, and the Yesod De'nuk. Lahashmed, Laharog, V'la'abed is called a Gufim Ha'tameim, all of these Gufos, Gufim Ha'tameim, Shal Kalish, and Asa the Vlushim, El Neshamas Gedusha, Shal Shvich Zer Levatala, Shalom, V'shal Kol Yisroel. So you see, this is a big secret. This is a very big thing. I may have to read this again because the process that he's talking about in some of the words are a little bit difficult for me. Let's see if we have 1 minute, and let's see if we could just start the next idea. Where is it? That was number Yud Ches, Yud Tes. So that was Yud Ches, Yud Tes. Yud Tes, V'secha V'sod Av Rayo. So this is the secret. There we go, get down here. V'sod Av Rayo. Well, we said before there was going to be a 72 plus this 216. Shenivor b'tzlein b'pe'in v'yavor. B'ayin sham she'osios Av Rayo. Those numbers, those letters. Hem v'yavor. We already said that v'gam siruf ivor. Ibor, also we're running together this concept of Ibor, Avrayo, Kihu, Iver, Shal Hamshachas, Tipas, Haneshama, Nisham. Okay, we'll come back to this tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem. Try to work out the details of how this. Thursday. Oh, that's right. I lost track of a day here. Okay, Thursday. You're not. Bye bye.